Well, every story begins with the beginning. And the first woman in my life was my mother. When I was very young, me and my mother, we would do lots of things together. I still remember from when I was 3 years old, I started going to nursery schools. And every lunchtime, just before 1:15, 2:15 actually, we would be leaving home to get back to the nursery school after the lunchtime break. So my mum was cooking for me, doing a lot of things for me, and every time I actually wanted to stay with my mummy. I remember saying to my mum, "But I don't want to go to nursery school. Why would I want to go to nursery school?" Because I didn't really like it. The teachers weren't always very nice with me, and the other pupils were challenging for some of them. I still remember my mum telling me once, if someone hits you, you've got to hit them back. And I did just that. Because my mum was right, I was obeying my good mum. And there was this girl, this woman in the playground that for some reason didn't like me. I can picture her, she was about my age. She was a little bit chubby, I think. She was a brunette, brown hair, and she had she had some big round cheeks. And one day, that I was in the playground, and there was a huge bottle of water in the playground, except that it wasn't water. It was liquid, and it contained water, but it almost looked like someone had just vomited and just created this huge bottle of water in the playground. And us being kids, what did we do? We went straight into it. We just walked straight into the puddle. And that girl that didn't really like me for some reason was riding a tricycle, because there were tricycles in the playground that all of us could use. And get what she did? She just pushed me right into the puddle. Bam! And one day, I was elsewhere in the playground, and this girl was annoying me, and she just slapped me in the face. I slapped her back. She slapped me in the face. I slapped her back. I guess this is the way that great war and rivalry begins. The game of tit for tat, as it's called. Now, my mum had a great influence on me, because when I was 6 years old, she actually became a victim of mental illness. And as a result, me and her were separated for a number of months, and I actually lived with my aunt instead. And it was quite a separation, quite a traumatic experience for me, because my mum was my rock, she was my little mummy, we were very close to each other. And then suddenly, mummy is very, very sick, as my dad would say, and we were separated. But there was another woman in my life I greatly admired at the time, and that was my grandmother, Jill Bennett. Now, as is the case of everyone, grandmas are always the best cooks. And my grandmother was like the next level up in terms of cooks. Whenever I would be at home with my grandparents, she would just put the little plates into the big plates, literally. For example, I had dinner, I would have a bit of dry sausage, I would have some butter that was even curled up, so it would go quite nice. I had some cheese as well, and this dish she made that was just heavenly. The pasta asciutta. It is a kind of Mediterranean dish made with pasta, tomato sauce, and also beef. Beef that is kind of stewed and cooked really, really slowly, so that when you cut it and you start eating, it literally is like pulled pork. It almost just disintegrates and starts melting in your mouth. And my grandma was very, very, very good in cooking that dish. She gave the recipe to myself and my dad many times, because we wanted to make it at home. We lost it, until eventually, a couple of years ago, we eventually found my grandma's recipe. In the meantime, she sadly passed away. We found an original version of the recipe with even OXO cube sellotaped onto it. This is Maggi cube in France, not OXO cube, but this was the proper stuff. And when my dad saw that, I said, yeah, This is definitely for grandma, hair handwriting, hair smell, and there's even the oxo cube on that. There was a third woman that had a great influence in my life. Well, I don't think I've met her yet. But one day I'm going to meet a lady, and this lady will become my wife, my Valentine, as I call her, Mrs. Bay. And I'm sure she will be influencing me in ways both big and small that are completely unforeseen. The first legacy she'll give me an influence is, well, I might become a dad, for example. And the thought of it just terrifies me for some reason. Just little Florians running around me. I can be quite a mouthful already, but just there's going to be even more of me running around. This is going to be just a problem. And then when they're going to be 18, they're going to join Toastmasters. And they're going to follow in their in daddy's footsteps and take over Toastmasters in London. It's going to become a family thing, really, or almost. What else is she going to do? I think that this woman will probably end up changing my accent. Maybe she's a beautiful English or actually a beautiful flower of Scotland. And then I'm definitely going to say we for small, Ben for kid, and I will say she's a gorgeous lassie. So my English language is going to change and become more British, which will be a good thing. But maybe, and I think the probability of this happening is quite high, she will have a different accent that is more Eastern, shall we say. Polish, Lithuanian, Ukrainian, Russian, something like this, which might mean that I might end up one of these languages fluently, which would be a good skill to have. And my culinary repertoire would expand. So in addition, I'm sure there will be the babushka then, and the babushka will probably introduce new things to my taste, like zakoskis and all these wonderful things. So yeah, so the three women in my life: my mum, who gave me life, who brought me to the world; my grandma, who expanded my taste bud, taught me to put the little plates into the big ones, and was just such a kind and caring lady. And then maybe soon, maybe I'll meet her tonight, for example, on the way home. There's going to be Mrs. Bay, the Valentine, which will kind of be the spearhead for us to take over the world. Mr.